Hey YouTube, what is up? As I was perusing my local Toys R Us's toy aisles, like the, average 21-year-old adult male that I am, looking at all the children's toys, after I went through the Power Ranger aisle, I went to the toy gun blaster aisle, which usually is just filled with Nerf guns, and while I was there, I'm sure I saw the coolest Halo toy that I've ever seen as an actual toy. I've had figures, I've had models and stuff like that, but this is the actual coolest toy in my opinion. And now before I actually show you it, I want to explain what it is. And if you ever used a toy blaster that shoots like foam darts, usually people think of Nerf, and Nerf really does suck. Nerf has these foam darts that shoot maybe 30 feet before they go and fall to the ground. They don't really hurt or anything like that when you get hit with them. I guess that's not really the point, but you don't really feel it either. It just feels like, an old man lightly breathed on the area you got touched by the dart with. And I don't really like that much. I'm sorry about the lighting change, by the way. The sun keeps deciding to play peekaboo with the fucking cloud that's over there, and it's getting a little annoying, but whatever. Anyway, there's a gun that is not a Nerf gun called a Boomco gun. God, I'm getting really bright now. There's a Boomco gun, and the Boomco gun is a Nerf gun that doesn't suck. So what that is a Nerf gun made not of foam or anything like that. It doesn't have foam darts. It has plastic darts with rubberized grippy tips that if you shoot a specific surface, it'll adhere to that surface almost like crazy glue. It's actually a really, really strong bond. And when you get shot by these Boomco guns, they actually sting a little bit. They hurt. I got shot with one once and actually left a little welt for a little while. Because it's actually a forceful dart, it'll actually go a few hundred feet when you shoot it. It's actually fun to play with because you could do long range battles with it. I was playing with my brother with his Boomco gun that he got a while back, and it was actually fun to do. Unlike Nerf guns, you don't have to be like 10 feet from each other just point blank shooting. You can actually run around a little bit, so it's actually fun to do. And now onto the specific Boomco gun that I saw that is the coolest Halo toy I've ever seen, and that is this. This is a full-size replica. I'm pretty sure it might be a little larger in the game, but it's an almost true-to-life size replica of the Needler from the Halo game series, if you've ever played it. And it is the dopest toy I've ever seen. It's a Boomco gun, that's why I was describing it before. And if you haven't seen Boomco guns before, I'll just take one of these out. This is what the darts look like. Now obviously the darts are pink because this is the Needler, and this is the rubberized tip, and if you shoot it to a specific surface, it'll adhere to only the specific surface. It's just their target system. So if you shoot a wall, it won't stick to the wall, it won't damage the wall or anything like that. But this does shoot forcefully, so if you shoot like a soft surface like foam, it might make an indent. Anyway, you can see it's like a plastic tube, and it's very, very solid. It's not like a cheap Nerf bullet that you can rip in half or have a dog sneeze on and it'll fall apart. This is the coolest Halo toy I've ever seen. The way they made this specific toy is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna hold it up like this just because there's no real better way to show it. First off, there's 8 bullets in the chamber, and when you shoot, the chamber itself rotates. So you can see it's spinning a little bit right there, but it won't rotate completely because I'm not pulling the trigger and cocking the lever action. And then there's also 8 darts up top, which are really, really cool because not only are they replaceable, when you're actually playing with the gun, you can then use the bullets on the top, which not only match the Needler's design to actually refill it like you would in Halo. On sec, you can't really shake the gun and then the bullets transport magically. This, you just have to take them and put them inside the barrel, which is still really, really cool. And another thing that I like, it's hard to see, but each of these individually lights up. And I'm going to go into detail with that in a second and show you with it a little darker, but I'm going to cut to that in a minute. But basically, it lights up, and each time you pull the trigger, one of the lights individually goes off. I just cycled through all the lights. I don't know if you could have seen it though. I'll show you it closer up in a second. And I think that is the coolest thing in Halo when you're playing Halo. If you have a Needler, the needles that stick out of the back of the gun are kind of iridescent. They kind of have a glow and an illumination to them. And when you shoot this gun, per the amount of bullets you shoot, it'll actually match the amount of bullets you have left. So if you shoot 6 bullets, only 2 of the lights are going to be left on, which I think is really, really cool because it's also an ammo counter, which is basically how it works in the game as well, because when there's a little needle stuck in the front, you know you don't have much left in the clip. When there's 2 lights on the top, you know you only have 2 bullets left in the chamber. And I think that's a really, really, really cool and complex design for a children's toy gun. And by the way, my hands are very, very large. I don't know if you can see it, but my hands are bigger than most people's, and I can hold this pretty comfortably, which is, very uncommon, I guess, because when I usually get toys and I usually get like Power Ranger stuff. They're meant for children. If you buy the Japanese versions, they're actually more adult sized, but unless you're buying Legacy Power Ranger stuff, they're not going to be meant for adult sizes. And even though this is a children's toy, I don't have a problem wrapping my hand around it. It's not really all that uncomfortable. I mean, technically speaking, I'm left-handed, so I'd hold it like this. But it is still really, really comfortable, and it's not bothering me in any way. Another thing I'd like to add really quick about the detail of this gun before I actually shoot it and lose all the darts forever, because I'm going to shoot them without looking where I'm shooting, is this entire second section that you can see is slightly off color from the rest of it is actually a gripped rubber. It is not molded plastic like the top, which you can hear the difference. This is actually like a soft rubber that allows you to grip it, because when you want to load the gun, what you have to do is you have to pull that back, and this mode right here is where it is locked into firing a single bullet. Now you can fire a single bullet, which I'm going to do at my hand really quick. Ow. And then you just put it back, and as you saw, the barrel spun slightly, which then loads the next bullet into the chamber, which is really, really cool. But there's also a second alternate firing mode, which matches up exactly with the Halo Needler from the Halo video game. So what you have to do is hold the trigger, and I'm just going to shoot this downward so I don't lose the darts, because otherwise this video is going to be pretty boring after that point. But all you do is just... I'm really hurting my leg here by shooting. But yeah, all you have to do is hold the trigger down, and as you cock it back and forth, it'll automatically fire once it reaches the maximum, I guess, I don't know, maximum backness. As far back as it can go, once it reaches as far back as it can go, it automatically fires without you having to release the trigger. So much like a Halo Needler, you would shoot rapid fire. And you can actually do that with this, and you can shoot as fast as you can just cock this trigger, or firing mechanism, whatever you want to call it. And it's really cool because it also has these little, I guess, exdents, not indents, that you can wrap your hand around like that, and you can get a grip on, and then you can use that to cock it back and forth and fire. I don't want to fire my camera lens because it'll knock the camera over. It's actually really, really forceful. And now I have slight welts on my leg from shooting it at such a close range. But this really is the coolest Halo toy I've ever seen, let alone the coolest like dart blaster I've ever seen as well. And they also make other versions. I saw the UNSC like regular pistol. They have the Covenant plasma pistol for the Covenant. They have that as well. But those are just one fire darts. Like they're almost like handheld pistols, which is what they are. And then you just kind of cock it back and forth like that, and you can then shoot one dart at a time. Unlike this one where you could rapid fire it. And they also have the SMG, but it doesn't really look like the SMG. This one really, really does look like the Needler in almost every aspect of it. It looks believable. It looks realistic to the show. And I said show. Wow. I'm stuck in Power Ranger mode. I'm sorry. It's realistic to the game. And the SMG one really isn't too realistic to the game. It does look very much inspired by Halo, but it doesn't look like the SMG from Halo. It doesn't have the same design as it. It just looks more blocky, and it doesn't look specifically like it. But there are other Halo blasters by Boomco as well, and I gotta say though, this one by far is the coolest one I've ever seen. It's very well done. I mean, I'm surprised at the quality of this. I mean, it was like $50, $45, but they had a deal where you buy one, get one, I think 20% off. So I didn't buy this at technically full price. I probably got it for like $35 if you count the 20% off. But it is by far the best Halo toy, as in something you can actually actively play with, that I've ever seen, and it's by far the coolest dart blaster I've ever owned. And I'm glad to keep it, and I actually keep it right there under my controller stack. If you see that, I just kind of like hang it on the wall because it looks really, really cool. And now for a really quick thing, I'm just gonna zoom in and show you what it looks like when they all light up. Now it's hard to see and it doesn't look all that bright, but it actually is really bright, and it's still daytime and pretty bright in this room. But you can see how there's LEDs present in each tube. And the reason they look like they're flickering is because the refresh rate on the LED is actually matching up with my camera lens, my camera's frame rate. But that doesn't actually appear when you actually look at it in real life. And what happens is when you pull the trigger, you can see this one just went off, then the next one stops, this one goes, that one stops, this one goes, that one stops, and so on. So when you actually fire the darts, it'll actually correspond on the top and show you how many you actually have left in the chamber. And then you can actually take these out and reload it into here. And if you want to look in there, you can see that it's actually just an LED light. It's a red LED, so it does make the pink darts look a little redder, but you can actually put any Boomco dart you want in it and it'll illuminate it similar to the halo color. So you can see right there how I just quickly shuffled through and they all turned off. And it's really, really cool. This is by far the coolest toy I've ever seen. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And don't forget to click subscribe if you like the video, because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'll be sure to be making a ton of Halo 5 videos when that game comes out, because that is my most hyped game of 2015. So, see you then.